Welcome everybody. Today we're doing a tier list before Mortal Kombat 1. We're doing it right before the new Chaos Reigns DLC. This is kind of like a year end showing off the most recent update tier list, and then it'll probably change in about a week, but you know, we're gonna go into it and we're just gonna go with the flow a little bit. So I do think one tier lists are a little like overrated. People put too much like time and effort into tier lists, and I don't think they matter too much, especially in a game like Mortal Kombat 1, where I feel like the overall character gameplay, like there isn't like you're not playing a character that like you can't win with. Like it's not like they're so bad that you're literally losing all these matches. Like sometimes matchups can be pulverizing. I think that's a big thing is matchup chart and kind of making a tier list based off matchup spread. So that's what I'm kind of gonna try to do and take mainly off tournament results. So characters. There's some characters that are kind of like kind of seen as like mid tier, but they have a lot of really good people doing really really good with them to the point where it's kind of hard to be like, okay, well this character's not that good, but like this other character who in a vacuum is very good, but doesn't have a ton of results. So, all right, we're gonna go into it. Maybe I can change up the tiers here a little bit, but I think to start off, okay, I think. Ooh, the best character in the game, Homelander, for right now at least. I think they definitely normalized him a bit. I don't think he's like clearing away like she's so much better than everyone else and you're playing at a deficit. I do think he's still the best character, especially with Farah and all the stuff he can do. I do think it's manageable, and I think he can actually be zoned out a decent amount, and at mid screen honestly isn't like too scary, but he just has a ton of options. Command grab, his mix ups, his ability to float. Don't know if he's like in a flow or on the ground. Sometimes it's like you can't even like see if the overhead, or if he even has the overhead option, or if he has a low option. So Homelander number one, but I honestly don't think it's like by a ton. Two, people are going to disagree with me with this. People might get mad at me at this, but just based off tournament and like the fact that the win condition's so low, I think Kenshi's the second best character in the game. I think I am a Kenshi up player to no end. I think this character is absolutely busted. I think this character is insane. It's Pop Sento, and it's like maybe it's hard to get that one opening, but the fact that you only need one opening and like the runaway space is minimal, and like zoning isn't crazy good. You can zone him out and stuff like that. You can run away, but I think Kenshi is he's just so strong. He's just such a good character in this game. And yeah, that's what I'm going to go with it. Okay. I think the third best character is Tanya. Tanya just plays the game plays Mortal Kombat 1 really well. Like, just good mids, great armor that is going to be nerfed in the next patch. So, these three characters might be receiving some nerfs. I would be surprised if all three of them didn't. We've been saying that for Kenshi for a while, and he really hasn't. So maybe Kenshi will be the same. Maybe Kenshi will stay good. I just think that there's a lot of people doing well in tournaments with Homelander. A lot of people doing well in tournaments with Kenshi. A lot of people doing well in tournaments with Tanya. And that's a lot of people who have pocket Tanyas. There's a lot of people that have like a secondary Tanya, or just in the bag tricks. They have a Tanya and they do super well. Just pulverize some really really pulverizing matchups like Quan or Reptile. We were like, oh, who does Homelander lose to? Maybe Tanya. That might be it. But I think Tanya is the third best character. I think the fourth best character is. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna do it. I think Natara is absolutely busted right now. I think she's broken. I like the game plan. The fact that she can float in the air. Characters like Reptile and Reiko basically need to choose their cameo around that aspect. If you're like, if you have Sonya, it could be a little thing, but like she can fly at heights that go above and below Sonya. And she can just stay in the air for so long. She basically has Sight Gas. She can move back and forth. Just incredibly strong character is Natara. And just meterless, launching dive kick and just hit so hard, especially with Farah. And even without Farah, I think she's still a very strong character, but we have Farah still, and she is absolutely crushing it. I think she's the fourth best character. I really don't know. Maybe there's some matchups she struggles with. I heard she struggles with like Sub-Zero, and maybe like Scorpion. But speaking of Scorpion, I think that's the next best character. I think again with Farah, even like with Mataro, just the buffs and stuff like that. The buff on back 3 has made so strong. Just the runaway game is still there on top of just oppressive, big damage. Stand 2 will hit you from like further than you could have ever imagined. Like it goes so egregiously far that I don't even know. I don't even know. All right. Like it's like, and then yeah, the big damage is there. So is what it is. Okay. I think the next best character, and I'm not gonna do like some top five. I'll just put this one next to you. I think it's Johnny. Just looking at the characters, I can't really see any other character below that's like Johnny still has a very solid game plan. He hits hard. He has good cameo. He doesn't really even need like a cameo. Cameos are just like how you want to play. Like you can play like Johnny sub, and then you could just constantly try to go for hype meter, and hype is super good. You could play like Johnny. Even like Johnny Lau, you can get approaches, or Johnny Chameleon is basically the new Johnny Lau, where you just use glaive to get in, and then once you get in, it's a field day of plus frames. Like he's not as strong. I don't think he's top one, but I think he's still very, very, very good character. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay, so looking down, I think the next row. I think I'll go to the next row. I'll go to A tier. I think Sindel is very strong. Maybe like a high skill ceiling, but just the float mechanic, the strong mid, the big damage that she can get, the vortexing. I do think it's a little. I think she's a little overplayed. I think her matchup spread isn't the greatest. I think like character like Reptile, the character that I play, just completely fine against her. And I don't know really any characters that she's like, wow, like this matchup's terrible. Like maybe Kenshi players like to say that, but when you just need to get one opening, like how can you be like, wow, Sindel's Vortex setups are so hard to get, and like her zoning is like it's good, but it's not like that crazy. And like as long like you can hit someone with 5 projectiles, and then you get Sento once, and it's time to party. Like you know what I mean? So I think Sindel is there. Okay, who would be next? You know my hot take. This is a hot take. I don't mind the Sindel MU. Yeah, she's not like good because she's overwhelming you and freaking you out. And Homelander sucks. Yeah, nah. Okay, this is my next hot take one. I think Melina is crazy strong, and if we look at the top 100 ranking that I made, so maybe I'm a little biased here. There are Melina in terms of had eight players in the first one, 7 players, and the only characters that had more were people that are above her, except for Raiden, but Raiden got severely nerfed, and then Raiden has a ton less. Like in the first one, there was like 12 Raidens, in the second one, there was like 2. Melina has been strong. I don't think she's really received any nerves. The 1-2 like flawless block gap is a thing, but you can play around it. She has good cameo synergy. She hits like a truck. She has 50-50s with cameos. Depending on which cameo you want to use. Like, it's a good synergy with multiple cameos. You can use someone like Goro. Virus has shown why that's good. Lau is still very strong. Dexy Dog showed how Melina Chameleon is absolutely busted. Melina Farah is super good. Melina Sonya. Very, very, very strong team. Very, very good character. So looking through, I think the next best character, I think this character has been downplayed and falling down tier list, and I don't know why, especially with Chameleon. Just so strong is Astra. Plus frame projectile, just crazy damage, absurd range, good mids, just OS options with Movado or Chameleon. I think that this character is incredibly strong, downplayed a lot, and yeah, I find AK Peacemaker. Yeah, I think Peacemaker is very strong as well. Okay, so I think the next best character, I think this character also is kind of fallen off a lot. And maybe it's like matchup spread. This character is just really good against my character, so I'm going to put them here. But I think Lau is very strong. Just the armor, the damage, the play style, the projectiles, and stuff like that. You can kind of zone him out and keep him away. Maybe they take away his armor, but stiff whiffs. A lot of stiff whiffs on Astra too. Yeah, Astra has like some weird hurt box things going on. So yeah, that's my reasoning. And if you have a problem with it, then let me know. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so we got Lau coming up next. I think Lau, big damage, good zoning, does everything well. Armor. He plays again like I guess like maybe that's just the armored launcher, but just plays MK1 well. Definitely has some weaknesses and stuff, but like I just think that safe armor is just such a fail safe, good fail safe tool. Stuff like that. Good synergy with Goro, especially. But like we've seen a lot of Janet. We've seen Movado do well. With Lau, I think this is a very strong character. I think next, okay, I think there's another character that's probably really downplayed that I think is just not a lot of people play her, but I think And this is kind of going against what I said, because I was like, oh, there's you know, based off like the top 100 results, there isn't a ton of results for this character, but this is a little bit of a hot take, is I think Katana is next. I think Katana is outrageously busted. That back two is so strong. She hits like a truck. Her set play is nuts. Her zoning is good. She has a bit of startup like issues, so like some characters can give her a hard time, because like her buttons are big commitments. And that's why I feel like some people are like, Katana's top one, and maybe that's just because like the way that she can play against your particular character. But I think she is really, really, a really strong character, and I think she has a lot of stuff, really good synergy with multiple cameos. I feel like that's, you know, pretty congruent with everything that these other characters have. Okay, is there? I feel like there's a bit of a fall off. Next, okay, who I got? Okay, I think I can't find a character one that's better than this character, so I'm gonna put this one here. I think Liu Kang is really slept on right now. He might not be the most fun character to play in the game, but his buttons are so quick. His zoning is really good. Motaro, Lao, or Liu Kang is really strong. Like you do a projectile into the Motaro teleport, and then you're in their face. And I think Reiko's good too. I think Reiko just has some problems, but probably next. But I think Liu Kang is better. Damage is crazy. Like you can decide, do you want to play like a rush down Liu Kang? You can use like Kano. Do you want to play like a set play Liu Kang? You can use like Chameleon and stuff. Like I think he's really strong character. Okay, next, I think there's two characters that are kind of like on that next plane, and I think that is Ermac and Reiko, so I guess I'll talk about both of them. Ermac, this is cancels his pressure, his damage, how he can approach some matchups. I think he's really good. His set play, his armor break setups, really strong. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more you have to say. All crazy synergy with Janet. I like Ermac Frost. I think that's a really downplayed team. But you think Xiao and I think Xiao and Rain can also be there as well. I think I'll do that too. But let me talk about Reiko. I'll just put that there. I agree with you, Peter. We got Ermac, obviously strong. Reiko. Some weaknesses, like some startup issues. The zoning isn't that oppressive. It's like you can kind of like keep them at bay, but like the zoning isn't going to like freak your opponent out unless they're really bad against zoning. The command grab obviously is very strong, so you get to a lot of mind games. You get to like, oh, are you gonna duck, and then you have a pretty decent Megan forward one. You have armor breaking highs with like 2-1 or 1-2. Like Reiko Tremor super good, Reiko Janet really good, Reiko Movado really good. I think it's strong. Xiao, mixed machine, good range, good damage. He kind of gets mashed on a lot, but he also can mash a lot. I think Tremor is best for Reiko as well, especially now. But like Xiao Chameleon, I think is a really strong team because it allows, you know, obviously with J-Glaive you can kind of just throw and get in. Like Chameleon kind of fell off, but I think Xiao Chameleon is one of the stronger teams in the game, and allows Xiao to play his game, what he wants to play. I think Rain, I think, is really good as well. The cancels, the damage, startup. So like some characters, like I feel like Sub-Zero or like Reptile could actually be kind of hard for Rain, but I can see how Rain does better in like some of the higher tier matchups. Like the damage is really good. The Rain God is a really crazy projectile. It does have some really good zoning. Set play can be really strong. The Whirlpool and stuff, I feel like it's a worse version of Katana's. But you still kind of get some crazy set play. You can kind of get that overhead. The safe double hitting overhead that launches. I think this character is strong. On the weaker end of like the really strong characters. Sure, I think we're going down to the next one. I think another one of my hot takes. I think this character. I think these two characters I'm going to put next are incredibly downplayed and are really strong. But I'm going to do it. I think Garrus is busted. I think Garrus is broken. He becomes a super character for 1 bar of meter. He gets 1 bar breakers. He gets instantaneously freezes you, teleports right to you, makes you play red light, green light. If you're not blocking, oh, he just snaps, and now he's in your face doing a full combo. He gets meterless damage with cameos like Jax, Motaro, or even Kung Lao if you want to use Lao. I think he probably has some other characters you can probably do it with as well. I think like Garrus Chameleon is like a slept on. I think this character is insane, and maybe that's just because he definitely beats Reptile. Like, I'll say that right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in that matchup. I lose to every good Garrus player. I think this character is very downplayed. I think another character that's very downplayed, Takeda. Insane range, insane damage, insane set play with Jax. He can just fly in the air, just hook, and Jax is on the ground. I think that he was just kind of downplayed from the start, and everyone just kind of has him low. I think he could even be higher than this. You're probably gonna get a buff in the next one. Like people were like, oh, why did they nerf his teleport? Imagine if you had that low and the teleport launched meterlessly and was an overhead. Would be ridiculous. I think this character is very good. But yeah. Oh, yeah, going through. Okay, I think probably next, would probably be Quan. I think Quan, the Armored Portal is really strong. As much as counterplay they have with it. Actually, let me make this a little bigger. Okay, cool, yeah. But I don't know why I didn't do that before. Silly. But I like, he kind of has counterplay, but just the Armored Portal is nuts. The mind games, the zoning is super good. The game plan's super easy to execute too. Doing like 1-2 into his down back 4 amp into stand 4 does like 50%. Stand 4 fatal does like 50%. So he has that end game off. Like, just can take half your life bar if he has fatal. Stand 4 just straightly strong. Like, no Motaro gameplay. You can't do like, oh, I'm gonna do Scorpion spin into Motaro. Nope, you're getting stand 4 teleported. And if he's using Sector or Tremor, you get like full combos. Some people make this character look crazy strong. There was 3 top 100 Quan Chi's mains, and that's not including K-Mac, who probably will be because of his performance at Evo. I think this character's strong. Some bad top tier matchups. I can see how some of these characters like Natara or Tanya, maybe even Kenshi, would give him a really hard time, especially because when Kenshi gets that opening. So yeah, yep, I think that's it. Next, I'm gonna put my boy. I think this is where he is. I think Reptile is, in a vacuum, Reptile is probably an A tier. He's probably up here. In a vacuum, like maybe like here-ish even, or like maybe below. Yeah. But I think the matchup spread just like, I can't look at any of these characters above him and be like, yeah, Reptile wins that matchup. Like, probably even, probably loses, maybe beats Rain, or even probably loses, even maybe loses, even probably loses, even probably loses, loses. So it's like, in a vacuum, I can see why people think Reptile is really good. It's just, you look at his matchup spread, there aren't people really crushing it. We have Darks and Honeybee who are kind of just going out of their mind, playing really good. I guess there's a good player from Latin America called Carazado who's been playing a lot of Reptile. I think he's a good character. In a vacuum, definitely strong. But if you compare his matchup spread, just a little weak. I think the next best character is still good. Yeah, no, exactly. Better than Takeda. I don't. Okay, the next one. I think Baraka is really solid. Honestly, like, maybe Baraka could be higher. I think it's like, if you're good at the game and like you play a character and the character just, there's a couple bad matchups, like Baraka's a really good secondary. There's super solid strike throw, decent damage, good shimmy options, good armor break options, really good synergy with Kano. I don't really know any other cameos he does well with. I'm sure he has. I know like he has some sauce with Pharah, like Chameleon. I've seen it work with Josh X Ninja, but super solid character. Doesn't really excel at too many things. His pressure is really good, but like, and his frame data is good. Like he can mash. Like if a character like doesn't have good buttons, like I feel like Baraka would be a nightmare for like Shao. I can see that, or like even like Reptile. I can see it. Next, I think this character, strictly with Pharah, is really strong. I think Peacemaker Farah is super underrated. Just the mix up with low eagly. His zoning's still good. Like you kind of get rid of the not force. Is it force? Yeah, force field. Yeah, force field. So like the anti-zoning isn't like fully there. He's not the best zoner while also the best anti-zoner anymore. Torpedo's still really strong even though it's slower. And Torpedo into Farah is crazy. Just the 2-2, like you can do like 2-2 low eagly call in Farah, and then it's like low overhead on top of the mix of the grab. It's like, and then you do the leap too. So you can do like 2-2 grab. Do the Farah, and like if it hits, then you just get a free thing into Farah. And if it doesn't hit, they try to duck it, then you can still do the Farah overhead or land and do the low. So I think one of the more underrated teams in the game. And if I had to put one more character, I don't think any of these other characters are up here. I think the next one is probably Omni-Man. I think just doesn't do anything too solid. Like good synergy with Movado. Damage is decent. I like, or if he uses like Lao and doing low, I think he's kind of gimmicky. I think he kind of relies on his opponent making a mistake, which is like, that's okay. I mean, like Kenshi is like kind of like that too, where it's like you're relying on your opponent to make a mistake, but like they're going to at some point. Like we're not robots. You know what I mean? So like Omni-Man is annoying to fight against. That's the thing with like these lower tier characters, like this row, like I don't want to fight a Garrison bracket. I don't want to fight a Takeda in bracket. I don't want to fight a Quan Chi in bracket. I don't want to fight a Baraka in bracket. I don't want to fight a Peacemaker in bracket. Like give me like a Rain or like a Reiko or even like an Ashra or a Melina before I want to fight any one of those characters. It's like these characters are just like really, like I should win the matchup, but like come on now. Okay, next I think is Raiden. I think Raiden's actually solid. I think he's probably downplayed. I probably might have him higher. I think he's literally like Reptile 2.0. Like they have the same problems, like whiffing issues on their lows. Damage isn't great. Reptile does have good damage in meterless, so that's kind of where they differ. He has the teleport. His game plan is just kind of dry, kind of dried up. Like what he had broken is kind of not really broken anymore. He's solid, but you'd still win and do well with him. But I just think they toned him down. He's probably the most toned down character in the game. Probably more so than even Peacemaker. Any of these characters. Who am I going to put next? I think Shang is really good. I think his mid's good. You're basically gonna get hit with mids or like grabs. And it really his morphs are really cool. Like some of his setups are really crazy. If you watch someone like Wraith play, he'll show you why this character seems to be really good. But yeah, that's about it. That's about. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about Shane. Like, all these characters are kind of like he's just better than the other ones. I think and that's basically what it comes down to. Okay, I think next is Sub-Zero with Chameleon. He has mix-ups, and so I feel like the other characters just lack so much. And like his problems are not bigger than these characters' problems. You know what I mean? Like the mix-ups and like you have opportunities to get openings that some of these other characters don't have. And like I get smoke and go invisible, but it's such a gimmick. It really is. Like going invisible is just like it isn't great, and it can be good, and then you get a big opening from it. But like there's so many gaps. There's so many like he only has a certain amount of mix-ups that he can do right away. Being invisible, then you can get pressed on. I think Sub-Zero is better than him. I think the next one is Smoke. I think the Smoke just has a ton of gaps. He has invisibility is his gimmick. He doesn't really have zoning. He's really relying on his cameo to get invisibility. Really reliant on bar to get invisibility. He needs to do that, so he can't really break. So he has to take damage. I don't know. I don't really fear Smoke. Like obviously him going invisible, it's a gimmick. Again, it's one of those characters like I gotta play Smoke in bracket, but it's not like wow I'm gonna get mixed 50-50 from my life like I'm playing Homelander or Kenshi or Tanya or Natara. You know what I mean? Like he has like a play style kind of like Natara, but like significantly worse. So it is, and then I think the next is Li Mei. I think Li Mei is not that great. She hits like a truck, but that's about it. Stubby buttons, gaps all over the place. Just a projectile. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to run away with their characters that struggle to run away. Like I feel like Reptile, even though he does have that good projectile, but it's so slow, can really still keep Li Mei at bay. They pretty much are relying on just getting like an armor read at some point in every set that can swing the tides. Good character, can win with her, but not when it comes to this game. I think Havoc, I think these buffs, you know, are well timed, well placed. I think he is the currently the worst character in the game, but that's not because like I think he's bad. I just think he has problems. He's very much pretty probably the glitchiest character in the game still. It's his projectiles go away. When he gets a lead and he has 100 extra health, he can be a little oppressive, but like there's never a time you really fear him. His armor is trash that they're buffing, so be good. And yeah, I think that's it. I mean, let me know what you guys think. I'm probably gonna end the stream soon. I'll just throw this on there. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing DLC. But I think that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did I cook? Did I not cook? Am I stupid? Do I not know what I'm talking about? But yeah, this is my tier list. And I hope you guys enjoy. And I'll see you guys at the next video.